Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I want to spend a little bit of time talking to you about my solar adventures that I've been on, so stay tuned, we'll get right to that.
Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Mark's Life 101. I'm Mark, and this is my life.
Alright y'all, I just thought that I would take a little time and make a video about, the solar that I've been messing with and just kind of tell you some of my thoughts on it. And hopefully by me doing this, it will help somebody who is interested in solar to make the right decisions when they're buying stuff instead of making decisions like I did because you don't know what you're doing. Now, I have a background in industrial electric work, so the electric part of it I understand, a lot of the code and stuff I understand. But I guess let's just go on in here in my music studio, because that's where I got all my solar stuff, and check it out, and I'll show you where we're at and what we got going on. It might be a little bit noisy in here because I got the air on in here because it was super hot in here when I was in here earlier today. But alright, let's turn you around. Alright, so this is kind of my solar setup. I can cut this fan off, that'll stop some noise. And what I had before was a 24 volt this power mister right here. You gotta excuse the mess because I'm working on it, but it's a 24 volt all-in-one system. And the lightning struck outside, and I don't know exactly what happened, but somehow it ran in on the system or did something. It's showing a error code of 05, and I wasn't able to figure out what to do about that. So I just quit messing with it and started looking into other solar things, and I decided that I would go from the 24 volt to the 48 volt because it's supposed to be way more efficient. And I have the 6 gauge wires ran from in here in the music studio out to my house and into a transfer switch that I use to go back and forth between solar power and grid power. That way they don't touch, and don't have any worries about them backfeeding or anything like that. It switches either one way or the other way. So and that has worked great on that end of the house, so that is okay for now. But out here, this stuff here, I am just like, I'm happy with all of it, but I guess I didn't do enough research to know what I was actually getting. I ended up getting a reliable power of 4,000 watt split phase inverter. So this inverter does 220 or 110, which is great because that's what I want to be able to run in my house, where I can run bigger appliances, the dryer, the stove, the water heater, eventually when I get enough solar. Now I got about the best I can figure, I got about 2,500 watts of solar panels out here. I had bought 6 panels that were 300 watts, and they come from Echo Buyers, B-A-U-E-R-S, I think is how it's spelled. They were 300 watt panels. Well, when I got them here and got them hooked up, I have not been able to get more than 100, 120 watts out of each panel. So I'm thinking I got caught up with the mislabeling, got ripped off. That's exactly what happened. I paid way more money for them panels than I should have for them to be 300 watt panels, and they end up being about 100 watt panel. So after I figured out that I wasn't getting in hardly any solar power, I backed up and I bought 6 more panels from Echo Worthy that were 200 watt panels, and they do 200 watts. So Echo Worthy panels, I think you can trust in if you buy them from Echo Worthy. That's where I bought them straight from the company. You can trust that they're what they say they are, or I feel like you can. At least with my experience with it, you can. Anyways, so let me back up and show you something else. When I first started getting into solar, I got online and I bought a solar controller, and I have never hooked this solar controller up. This is a Weaver 24 volt 110 solar controller. Let's see. I can see it right here. Well, if I can get the light on it just right. But anyways, getting back to, I bought that to begin with. And I thought, okay, I'm going to get into solar, so I bought that when I bought the first set of panels. And I never hooked it up. It's never come out of that box right there, other than just to look at it. And actually, the reason it's out right now is I just took pictures to put it on eBay so I can sell it and try to get some of my money back out of it. But nothing wrong with it, brand new, you know. I feel like the reason I didn't use it to begin with is when I looked at it, I did not know that you had to buy certain inverters for certain batteries. That Weaver doesn't say anything in the manual at all about LiPo 4 batteries, lithium iron phosphate batteries. So it doesn't have a setting inside of it for it. Now I could probably look around online and figure out what settings to use, where I could use them with it, but I didn't want that. I wanted to do it right. You know, I wanted everything to match like it's supposed to match. So I backed up and I bought the Power Mister 3000 watt inverter, and it's set up for gel or lead acid or the LiPo 4 batteries. So which is what I had in here until the lightning struck it, and it was doing a decent job, but I wasn't getting enough power out of it to run. You know, I want to run more things in my house. It did run a mini split in my house for a little bit of time. I only had 2 batteries, which has probably got a whole lot to do with that. During the day it would run it fine, among other things in the house, lights and TVs and stuff like that. So you know, I don't knock it. I think it was a pretty good inverter. I think the lightning just done something to it, and I don't know how to fix it. So I put that on eBay, sell it. Maybe somebody gets a good deal and it's easy fix. I tried everything I knew to do, you know, unhooking everything, hooking it all back up, and was one of the things that was suggested, and I never could get the air code 05 to go off of it. So anyways, to get to my point, and then I ended up, when that tore up, deciding I was going to go 48 volts, and I wanted split phase. So I found this WZRELB, which is made by Reliable, and yeah, it works great. But for me, it's just not what I want it to be. I mean, it has a little screen here that tells you whatever, you know, whatever you want to know about it. But so in buying this kind, which is not an all-in-one, you end up having to have, turn you around, you have to have a charge controller. So I bought this Smart Solar charge controller from Victron Energy. Well, it works fantabulous. Couldn't ask for anything any better. I ended up buying a couple more batteries. I bought these 2 Time USB batteries. I bought 2 of those to go with the 2 Power Queens that I already had. Well, that was great, but it only works on Bluetooth. So my issue is I want to be able to look at this without actually having to come out here to this room and, you know, pull up a screen or pull up this screen, you know, to see what's going on. I want to be able to do that on my phone or a tablet or something when I'm away from the house, to see how things are going, just to keep a better eye on things. And so I started looking online, and I ran into the Victron Energy products, and I'd already bought the Victron Smart Solar Charger, which, because I've seen some really good reviews on it, and and they're supposed to be really good top of the line stuff, and I believe they are. They work great. One thing that sold me on it was their ability to like when a cloud goes across your solar, it drops down, and then when the cloud goes away, the electricity comes back up on your solar panels. And it takes some inverters a while to pick up on that. So the Victron does a really good job of being really quick at that. So that was one of the big things that sold me on that. My next issue is I wanted to be able to monitor my solar system without having to come out here to my music studio. You know, like if I'm in the house, got my shoes off, sitting in a recliner, I want to be able to just pick my phone up and look at it, and that's great. This stuff comes with Bluetooth. It doesn't come with Wi-Fi. So, in order to do that, you got to go to Victron and you got to purchase another product. Enter the Serbo GX. This thing does everything you could imagine. It's got all kinds of hookups for everything. It will run well pumps, it will run fans, it will run lights, it will, do a lot of things via the relays on this thing, just however you set it up. And it's got a ton of settings. The main thing it's got is Wi-Fi access. So I got Wi-Fi that picks up in this room that will hook to this. So once this hooks to my Wi-Fi, my home Wi-Fi, it will also broadcast back through a Victron's website what my solar is doing. So I will be able to look at my solar if I'm at work, or if I'm in town, or if I'm sitting in my house, or if I'm laying in the bed. I'll be able to pull my phone up and quickly look at what my solar is doing right at the moment, which is, to me, that's an important thing. So I got this thing, I hooked it up to the solar charge controller. It works a little. It will show me what solar is coming in, which is what the solar charge controller does. It will not show me what is going out, what's being used. Now, it's made to do that, and it will do it if you have the right inverter, which has to be a Victron inverter from my understanding. You cannot use a different kind of inverter. If you're going to use Victron, you got to use all Victron. I can get a smart shunt, which will do part of that. It will show me what's coming in and out of the batteries from Victron. Another $70-80 or something like that off the internet. That will help. That would show me more. But it's still just not showing me all the parameters. So, for the kind of money I've been spending on this, I want to be able to see what my solar is doing at any time. So, I have elected to just put all this stuff back on the internet and sell it and get my money back out of it and go with something different that does everything that I want it to do. I've been buying 3,000, 4,000 watt inverters probably to run the things that I'm going to want to run in my house. I'm probably going to need a 10,000 watt inverter. So my advice to you, if you're getting into solar, go ahead and buy a big enough inverter. Make sure the inverter you buy will do all the things you want it to do. Do not buy a single phase 110 inverter if you're planning to eventually want to run 220 products inside your house. Your stove, your dishwasher, or not your dishwasher, but your water heater and your dryer, stuff like that, that is on 220. Go ahead and buy a split phase inverter that has 110 and 220, so you can eventually expand and do all that as you get the panels and the batteries. Which leads me to the next thing, which is the batteries. I have 4 12-volt batteries that are all 100 amp hours apiece. In a 48-volt configuration, I have one 48-volt battery that is 100 amp hours. If it was 12-volt configuration, it would be 400 amp hours at 12 volt, or 24 would be 200 amp hours, and so on. You have to buy another product for these, which I have right down here. Let me get it. Which is this. It is a battery equalizer. I bought this used off eBay, and unfortunately it wasn't any good, so I got with a seller, and they refunded me and told me to throw it in the trash. So that's probably what I'll end up doing with it, because it's just not any good. It was causing all kinds of issues with my batteries, showing a dead short and all kinds of stuff. So but anyways, you need something to balance your batteries when you use batteries like this. So in my opinion, when you buy batteries, if you're gonna go with a 48 volt system, go ahead and buy rack batteries. They have battery equalization inside them already, and just so much simpler. They got all the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth stuff, that will allow you to see what's actually going on with your solar system. In my opinion, like I said, I just think that the rack batteries is probably the better way to go. And as far as cost, it's probably not any difference versus buying these and buying a rack battery, because you can get right now I know you can get an eco-worthy rack battery for right around $800, $799 I think, off the internet at eBay and Amazon. If you take these 4 batteries that I bought down here, for these 2 Power Queens, I bought them a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, I don't know. I ended up giving right at $200 a piece for those batteries, so it was that's $400 for them 2 batteries. For the 2 Time USB batteries, I bought these just recently, and I got them for $150 a piece. So, that's $700 right there. So it might be just a little bit more. And which I looked around and found the best deals on these when I bought them. But it might be a little bit more to buy the rack battery. But in my opinion, it's well worth it to go ahead and just buy a rack battery. Even if you gotta buy less batteries, buy 1 rack battery and be done with it, and add to it as you can. And I think that's the better way to go. Same thing with your solar panels. Make sure you buy from a reputable company. I feel really good about the eco-worthy. The Eco Buyers is a ripoff. I don't understand it. If they were selling 100 watt panels, because that's really what they are, if they labeled them 100 watt panels and I was somebody looking to buy 100 watt panels, I would buy them. Why lie to me? Why tell me, these panels are getting 300 and make the deal so ridiculous that you can't hardly pass it up? Which it was too good a deal, I will say that. I don't remember what I gave for them, but it was more than what they should have cost. But if they had done what they were supposed to, it would have been a really good deal. Either way, they didn't. One other thing that I bought, let me get the box here on that. I'm totally unprepared to do a video, but see what was on my mind. I bought this, and it's called a Wanbond, and it is a battery monitoring system. I think it was like, I don't even know, maybe $40 off the internet. Might even been 50, but somewhere in that area. And this thing is really good. I have really enjoyed using it, and it really gives me a lot of good information. It's like what is in the battery, and like this is blue right here, and so that's how much is going out of the battery right now. If there was power coming into the battery, this would turn green and the little arrow would turn red. And so I would, I know which way the power is going, whether it's coming in or it's going out, which is what the servo will actually do, on your phone when you get all that hooked up, right? But to get to my point, if you're gonna mess with with Victron Energy stuff, don't buy anything but Victron. Buy Victron everything. You know, your batteries don't have to be Victron, but everything else needs to be Victron to get it to work like, you know, like it's supposed to. Next thing is deciding what I'm going to go back with. The Pile-Mister was a great inverter. They're probably not a really expensive inverter, but they now have a 5,000 watt split phase that wasn't available when I bought that one. That is the low sine wave or whatever they call it, which is supposed to be better. And it's not really bad, you know, $600, $700, $800, I think, something like that. Which for me that's bad, but compared to other inverters, it's pretty cheap. The EG4 is a great option that I'm seriously considering, because I can get a 10,000 watt inverter that is split phase and has Wi-Fi built in it, so I don't have to worry about all that, and Bluetooth. So for me, that's a plus. You know, I know being able to monitor stuff remotely is not what it's all about. You know, I know it's all about saving on your electricity bill. But when you're able to monitor it and see what's going on, when you can't just stay right here and watch it all the time, you learn what your system does, I feel like, and it will help you as far as knowing, you know, when to use certain things and when not to use certain things. And I just feel like it's a valuable asset to have when you're doing solar. Now, I know I've talked a lot and lingered on in this, and I don't really know exactly where I'm going in my solar adventure, but I hope you hang around, watch the channel, and, you know, if you got any suggestions on anything, now would be the time to throw them out. You know, put a comment down there, and I answer all the comments that I see. I try to read every one of them. I try to reply to every one of them. Remember to like and subscribe to the videos, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you know, do it if you like following what I'm doing. And you know, I appreciate it. It helps me, especially even if you don't want to subscribe. Just hit that thumbs up, because that tells the algorithm, hey, people like your video, and we'll put it out to more people, and it helps me, and you know, it helps pay for some of the solar stuff. So anyways, I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me today, and when I decide what I'm going to do next on the solar, I will put a video out, or I will show you as I get it, or whatever, and you know, go a different route. I want to upgrade to you know, like a 10,000 watt system. I want to have rack batteries, which is what I should have done to begin with. It seems like a big price right out the gate, and it is. But it's better to pay a big price one time than pay little prices a bunch of times and end up spending more money than you would have if you just bought what you needed to begin with. That's just my opinion. So anyways, thank y'all for hanging out with me here at Mark's Life 101. Come back, see us again, and we'll catch y'all next time, and God bless you.